Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This channel is a sewing tutorial channel. In this channel we'll be learning how to cut and sew different kind of styles, trendy styles, any styles at all. If you are new here, you are welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. If you are my returning subscriber, thank you for always here. Please don't forget to subscribe. Support this channel. Please subscribe. In today's video is how to draft a padded blouse bodice with princess darts. Let's jump right to the video. If you are cutting blouse, you need bust, waist, half length, point, under point, hip, under point round. All those ones you need the measurements. In today's I'll be using 40 for bust, 36 for waist, half length will be 16 and a half, blouse length 25, point 10 and a half, under bust 14, and my bust under bust round I'll be using 34. When you get your material or your paper, either of the two, you fold it into two. But because of this video, in this video I'm not folding my paper into two. I'm just using it in one line like this. So first of all you get your shoulder length. Mark your shoulder length. Is very necessary. Mark your shoulder length. And get your shoulder length. When you are cutting upper part of your blouse, the frontal, if you are cutting the frontal bodice of your blouse, you divide your shoulder into two, your bust into 4, your waist into 4, your hip into 4, the hip measurement into 4, waist measurement into 4, bust measurement into 4. While your shoulder length you divide it by 2. And when you are cutting this princess dart, you have to add your allowance. If you are a beginner, at least add 4 inches allowance to your measurement. If you are pro in this sewing, you can add 3 inches. But here, because of the beginners, I will add 4 inches to all my measurements. When I divide my hip into 4, I will add 4 plus 4 allowance. If I divide my waist into 4, I will add 4 inches allowance. Likewise, bust, I will add 4 inches allowance. The shoulder, when I divide into 2, I will add 4 inches to it. And my shoulder now is 16. I divide it into 2, which is 8. This is 8. This is 8 inches. I'm adding 4 inches allowance. I'm doing this because of the beginners. When you are measuring you take your point measurement. For this one, and the point measurement is 10 and a half. You add half inches to it, which make it 11 inches. The under bust is 14 and add your allowance, make it 14 and a half. My half length is 16 and a half, add allowance to it, make it 17. The half inches allowance I'm adding is because of the shoulder length. I'm going to join it at the shoulder length. The hip, the blouse length is 25. I'm making it 26. Why? Because I had 1 inches, because in the hip line I will sew it at the hip line. Likewise, I will sew it at the shoulder line. And when you are cutting your blouse, if you are putting breast pad into your blouse, you have to measure your length. They are point to point. The point to point of this length is 9. 9. So the point to point of this length is 8, which divided by 2 make it 4, and I'll add allowance of joining it to allowance of sewing. I'll add the allowance of sewing of half inches. I'll make it 4.5. So from this hip, from my shoulder length to my hip line, I'm measuring 4.5 like this inside. So let's point to point line. And when you are cutting your, you measure your armhole. If you want to know how to measure this armhole, just go to my previous video and watch it. My armhole measurement stuff, that's where I will measure my bust, and the bust is 10, and I said you add 4 inches allowance, make it 14. Now I'm measuring 14 this way. 14. This is the bust line. This is the bust line. This is the bust line. Here is the waistline, and the waist I say is 36 divided by 4 is 9. Add 4 inches to it is 13. Then I'm marking 13 inches for my waist. For my hip, the hip is 44 divided by 4 is 11, and I'll add 4 inches allowance, making it 15. This is 15 inches. Then connect it together. And here is my hip line. This one here is my waist. Here is my waistline. Now already I've measured my point, and so here is my point. Then this here is my under bust. My point. This is my under bust. Here is my waistline. Right here is my hip line. Now when you are from this from your under bust, you measure 1.5 inside this place. You measure from here to here 1.5. While here you measure half inches. Here you measure half inches. Also here you measure half inches. From your waist, half inches, half inches here, half inches here. Here you don't need to take any material out here, because here we are going to take some material here. We are going to take some material here, some material out here. That's why I added 4 inches to all the measurements at the initial stage. I added 4 inches because of the material we are going to take out here. At the middle of your armhole, you measure 1 inches down. Depends how busty your length is. Here I'm taking 1 inches down. You measure 1 inches down. From here now to this half inches, here to this half inches. From this point, from nothing to this 1.5 inches, then to this half inches. Let's make it now. So you understand here. Then this one go this way. Likewise here, from nothing to this half inches, then this half inches. And from here you measure from this 1 inches of your from the middle of your armhole, you measure 1 inches down. From that 1 inches down, you take your cuff to your point. Let's take it this way. But your armhole will be at the other side. You follow to the other. You will also join the point. You go to the point. Here you meet up like this. I hope you understand what I'm doing. But here, as here is this one from your hip line to this half inches of your waist. This one, that half inch to nothing measurement of your hip line. Likewise, the same way this side. Cut your princess dart. This shape is called princess dart. Now I'll cut it out. You see how it will come out. What you need to please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Why I added 4 inches is because of this cutout from your measurement. The style of princess dart is poster pad look like. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.